think we decided to run the Bibbulmun Track when we ran a bit too far one day and we must have got a bit delusional. And yeah, so it was probably, I think we were out in the lead up to a 100k event that we were doing, and I guess we were just really enjoying running on the trails and both talking about how the Bib Track is something we've always wanted to do.
The Bibbulmun, when I finished that one, I had nightmares for 2 weeks straight. And not just dreams about the thing or dreams that I was running, but out and out nightmares for 2 weeks straight. And actually so did my partner. It was a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of focus, a lot of sleep deprivation, a lot of tick bites, a lot of everything.
Yeah, definitely haven't done any sort of crewing before. I've done a couple of runs myself, just little runs, the 6-inch and whatnot. But in terms of crewing, yeah, first time having a crack at this. It's been a real eye-opener. It's something I probably enjoy almost as much as running.
Alright, morning boys, it's Saturday the 14th and we're ready to head off on the Bib Track, Bib 1000. How are the feeling? What are we feeling inside?
Feeling pretty excited.
Yeah.
It's been a big climax. We're pretty ready to just get on with it now and make it happen. Yeah.
How the body's feeling?
Actually not too bad.
Oh.
2 weeks taper, so yeah, feeling pretty good.
Feeling fresh, yeah.
Alright.
Go at it.
Who's ready to start?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Good luck, gents.
Thank
All the best for it.
Bernadette set a pretty decent challenge ahead of us with 15 days and 9 hours and 48 minutes, I believe. So yeah, we've sort of had a good look at it, and at the moment our best case scenario is sitting at 12 days. And obviously anything can happen on a 1000k run. So it gives us a little bit of room to move, but let's just hope we can tick that box and get as close to that 30 dozen as we can. Yeah.
You go out in a hard pace to start, you will crack. Again, I mean, when you see people who are winning these long distance races, they're very calculated in their pace. You know, people don't go sprinting out the doors trying to win ultra marathons. They're very smart with how they pace their effort, and they pace it knowing that towards the end, if they need to pick it up, they're going to be able to try to hopefully pick it up.
Pretty happy, day one done.
Yeah, highlights?
Score crew, been the champ.
Get out of here.
Obviously the first 40k's from Melbourne is just absolutely magic.
Spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. The views were grand.
I think it will either go very well or very badly. I don't think it'll be a case of, I think you're really well prepared, and there are a lot of things that you can come across here that could be an absolute deal breaker. You know, something bad happens, you roll an ankle catastrophically and you've got an open fracture out in the bush. But barring injury, with the preparation that you've done, if everything goes to plan, I'd expect you to finish it and be sore and be feeling pretty good 4 or 5 days later.
kilometres per day, we're roughly looking between, well, I think it averages out between 60 to 90 Ks some days, starting 90 in the beginning, 90 or 80 to 90, and then we're dropping back when we're closer up here to a few 60 to 70 kilometre days.
So we sort of decided that we're prepared to go up to 15 hours over a day. So if we hit the 90k mark over 15 hours, the theory is we technically only have to average about 6 k's an hour. But obviously recovery is an important element. So, but then we also have to keep on backing it up. So there's that fine line between, you know, getting the k's done, but also not pushing so hard that we can recover and actually be able to replicate it day after day.
That's brutal. Actually, no, that wasn't too bad, that last one. Feeling a little bit better.
Woo!
Talk to me, boys. What's the day been like? It's you've got 5 k's until the treetop walk now, so
5 k's, really?
it's the start of your cool down.
Someone's lying to us, eh? We're at 90 k's.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, bigger days than what we expected, but I guess
I'm
get
blaming
lost.
Jimmy.
What's that?
I'm blaming you.
Oh, blaming me.
There's been an improvement though, hasn't there? You know, three wrong turns down to 1.
Yeah,
No?
we've done well today. We're still not done yet. But we're on track, mate. Let's just get it done. 12 hours 40 on the clock. Whew.
Do you think 10 days is possible?
I should say that I think a 10-day Bibbulmun is possible, just so like the sick me could try to watch people fall apart. But no, I really, if people want to try to have a go at a 10-day Bibbulmun, I think we as runners can just fixate on even numbers so much. Like, you do a run and it's 16.9k, and then you're going to run around the car park for 100 meters to make it an even number. We can really fixate on that, and I don't see the point really. I guess is I can step back now and say, what's the real point of this 10-day thing? I don't really think it's possible. Somebody, maybe a Killian type, who's got the total sponsorship team and everything, and has the masseurs and the helicopters and everything, who can follow at the perfect weather. Maybe. But gosh, I mean, going from 15 days to 10 days, that's 50%, well, not 50% off, but that's taking a huge chunk of time. That's like saying, let's take the 2-hour marathon and let's make it into a 1 hour 15 marathon. We're talking about a big difference. Yeah, I don't think so.
Just to inspire people to get outdoors, to be active, because I think WA has some of the most unique trails, and the Bibbulmun is definitely one of them.
And that's the whole purpose why the Bib Track was created. It was there to inspire urban people to go out in the bush and find what WA has to offer. So obviously we can showcase that as well. There's some underlying motivation as well that comes from, I sort of grew up with a close, I had a guy that was a close brother figure of mine who was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 17, and I sort of watched him go through a treatment process that was pretty intense, and 2 years later he unfortunately passed away. And you learn that not everyone gets the opportunity to sort of make the most of what's out there, and for me, I do. So I'm definitely trying to get out there, and this is a way that I guess we can express what is out there for the world to offer, and what you can do potentially with your body.
I think it's amazing at the same time insane, right? And the reason I say that is that it doesn't make sense that you would want to do that. That's what makes it insane. But the amazing part is that I think that the human body is capable of doing it, and the human body is capable of doing it pretty fast. And the really amazing part is that when you do everything right, it can feel really good, and it can be good. Again, would I want to run 1,000 kilometers? Absolutely not. But it's going to be a huge mental challenge. So it's not just, and that's the other part that I think that we haven't actually even talked about, is the mental aspect of that. 15 hours a day, every day. That's a big mental task, and so it's the real amazing part is how, not just how your body's going to react to it, but how mentally you're going to react to doing something like that.
What are the bodies doing? How are they feeling?
Mine's feeling pretty average today, but I'm sure once we get going it'll warm up.
Yeah. Anything in particular?
Oh, of course, my ankle.
Still that ankle? Yeah.
Looking nice and bruised, but keep pushing through.
What about on the mental side of things? How's the mindset holding up?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I probably need a few positive boosts today.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll bring out the negative jar. No, but I should be right. We're just gonna get momentum.
April, we're hoping a little bit lower risk with bushfires, and saying that hopefully the snakes are going to be in hibernation by then.
Shane's sending me ahead for those.
Apparently there's less ticks that time of year, so there's a few advantages going that time of year.
At 20 k's he was gone, and here we are at 89 kilometres. So,
and I want to cut this guy open because I reckon he's a robot.
but yeah, it is a bit later than we'd like, but we were lucky that it was a bit flat.
What's most remarkable is how the guys are sort of mentally and their personalities that shine through. So I guess when you get tested, when you push your body to its physical limits, your true core inner self comes through, and yeah, it's been amazing to see a whole new side of James that I hadn't experienced before with him in the last sort of 10 plus years we've known each other.
Got to try and make it as far to Pemby or beyond. See how we go. Going to try and do it a bit easier today because Jimbo's knee and ankle were talking to him a bit yesterday.
Swelled right up, and yeah, take it, like Shane said, take it a little bit easy and see how we go. Hopefully it goes down and we can keep fighting on to the end.
I mean, anything can happen out there, and I think that's why I said before, mentioned about it's the unknown. I've never done anything like this before, so it's going to be interesting pushing our body to the limits. But that's ultra marathon running for you. I think that's what attracts us to the sport, is pushing ourselves that little bit further, and see what we can do.
Talk to me, James.
Killer. Ankle and knee. The Waggle caught me.
Waggle got ya.
Waggle got me.
Done. Done for today.
with regards to the challenge itself, it's just I'm in complete awe of James and Shane for taking the challenge on to begin with. It's a huge task to just to do an end-to-end, whether you're walking, running, something in between. It's a massive undertaking. So for them to think that over 1,000 Ks in 12 days was doable and believing in it, that's a massive undertaking.
Day 6. Here we go. Unfortunately, our first day without James. He's off to the hospital while I'm off on a 95k adventure in the wilderness. Luckily, I've got Ellie joining me today for a good 50. Yeah, so no. It would gel very easy. I guess we're both pretty laid back and like to have a bit of a joke and mock each other a little bit. I'd much rather do this with James than solo. I think it would just be, a lot more of an enjoyable experience.
Mentally, would be a big struggle.
End of day 6. Big day, big 95 kilometres, and hit a bit of a milestone. Hit the halfway mark in 5 days and pretty much 9 hours. So pretty happy to be on the other side of the hump.
They think possibly maybe a snake bite, a dry bite, and that's led to an infection because the only marks I have on that ankle were 2 puncture marks. So they possible dry bite leading to bacterial infection. It wasn't until I got home, walked in the front door, that I actually broke down and realised I'd done 450 Ks, and there's Shane out there powering along. So it was hard to see, but that guy's a machine.
Yeah. Going from Albany to Kalamunda.
Sorry about all that crap.
No, that's fine.
So what are you doing? You're keeping going to where?
We're trying to go for the record. I am now. So it was me and a buddy who both started. Was it both been aiming to break the record.
Yeah. What is the record?
15 days, 9 hours and 48 minutes.
End to end.
And then,
Holy hell.
so at the moment we're on track for about 13.
Wow.
Yeah, so doing well, but my friend might have got bitten by a snake.
Where's he?
He stopped at Hammersmith. His leg just blew up. It's a beast when you look at what you're doing, because there's just so many logistical nightmares with the bib track, with the limited car access points, the fact that if something does go wrong, you just can't pull up and get to that person. The fact that it is 1,000 Ks long doesn't mean you can know every K of the track in it, like the ins and outs of everything. So you're always going to go in and not 100% know what's coming next. God knows what happened there. I was a bit off, Rob. We went from 88 to 96 Ks. Day 7 done. Not a bad day today. Legs definitely feeling a bit of fatigue. But actually pretty good average pace. I think even with the walk at the end there, still averaged 7:46 per kilometre. So it was quicker than yesterday. I think it's the quickest day I've done, which doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on with my body. It doesn't feel good. It's still moving.
If we look at exercise as medicine, it's probably the most safe in overdose of any other medication that we've got around there, including the stuff we sell over the counter at Woolies. So very, very safe in overdose, not without risk. And that's why you see me today, is to try and mitigate that risk. But I respect and admire what you're doing. It's that sort of adventurous spirit that kind of led to frontiers being pushed and understandings of where boundaries are.
Day 8. Let it begin.
Let it begin.
Woo.
I think there's a few things motivating Shane, but the underlying motivator, I think, is that he had a very good friend, family friend, and Brett Birmingham. He passed away at age 19. Brett was a very active person as well, and a very good football umpire, and looked like he was going to go on and do AFL football. But unfortunately he got cancer, and he passed away. So that motivated Shane to make the most of every day, and he has made the most of every day since. And this run he's doing now, if he finishes on time, on his goal, it'll coincide with the anniversary of Brett's passing. So the two events colliding together they're emotional on their own, but when you put the two together, it's an extremely emotional event, and I think that's helping Shane along as well. Yeah.
Started up Be Inspire Foundation, and it's all about giving disadvantaged youth opportunity, and so this run will be a great way to spread awareness and raise funds for that cause.
No, not at all.
Day 8, done.
All done by 2:40.
Earliest finish yet.
Good
work, buddy. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today, Lee.
For a few years after the FKT, gosh, it was almost like a bit of trauma. It's really, I'd have a bit of a good memory about it and about the accomplishment, but at the same time, there'd be this sort of trauma-ish feel where, like, even when I'd go on a trail run, if I went into a forest and just caught the right smell of wet, of damp things, it would just, my heart rate would increase, and I would get this kind of panicky feeling even, and I'd have to reassure myself, it's like, it's okay, you're just going on a trail run, nobody's making you, you don't have to stay out here for 15 days, it's all right. And the thought of somebody going out to potentially break my FKT, in the first few years would stress me a fair bit, because I didn't really necessarily want to cling to it as mine, but it just felt like it'd been so much bloody work. And I just wanted to let it sit there in the background. Maybe it's just like, let's just put the skeleton in the closet and we'll just leave it there. If somebody else is going to go out again, now I got to get my skeleton out and we got to sit there in the room and watch somebody doing it. But if nobody's out there doing it, we can put the skeleton back in the closet and we can all just go on with life. My perspective has been changing the last few years on how I feel about my experience on the Bibbulmun, such that I keep talking about going out for the self-supported FKT. So maybe I'm going to get there.
Okay, here we are, Sunday, it's day 9, heading up in Bibbulmun direction. I've got Marlene joining me this morning, pretty cool. Looks like we got some wild weather to contend with, but hey, who wants an easy bib challenge? Might as well have everything thrown at me. But body's still reasonably good, I think, we'll see. And had a massive feed yesterday, the guys were just loading food into me, so hopefully energy won't be an issue.
What you're doing is not exactly normal, so therefore the foods that you're going to be having across this trip aren't exactly healthy foods that you'd probably recommend every day, but however they've got their time and place because we're trying to make those foods as easy to digest for you whilst you're running.
I think I've almost eaten everything.
Doing well, man. Got your bladder.
I took him to a football game when he was about 9 years old, first footy game. They put him on the field and he ran around and chased the ball all day. Wherever the ball was, Shane was, and his face was red as at half time, and the coach looked at me and said, "Is he okay?" And I said, "No, he's fine." Let him go, and he used to get a lot of possessions through just actually wearing people down and running around all day for it.
He's running faster than, the average person running on their run, and he's just, run 700k in what, 8 days? Yeah, he was fine. He was fresh. He was even saying that he's surprised how not sore he is, so it's really good.
Hello. That's the rain almost held out for you. It sounds like you might have been telling the boys how good it was. It wasn't pouring.
That was my least favourite section. Good rain, good bush, and I reckon we should call that a good wrap.
Yep. Time to get in the car.
Oh man, that's tough. Okay. I struggled hard on that. That was bad.
Your unique situation of doing this huge distance over multiple days, a little bit like a Tour de France but running in some ways, I'd find that extremely interesting. In terms of whether I think about the whole idea and whether I'd do it, I think not a chance. I think you're crazy personally. But that's the beauty of people going out and doing all different things in sport, isn't it?
So here we are, day 10, double digits. Getting closer and closer to that Kalamunda hotel. Hanging out to punch out another good day. If today goes well, should be all back on track. Got Shay with me again for the first 20, so very appreciative of that. And then got Henry joining me right to the end, so he's putting in a big one. And yeah, it should be hopefully good times.
Getting to know Shane over these last few months, really, I guess I've seen the truest self of Shane. Nothing seems to be breaking him. He seems to be just the same guy that started in Albany is who you've got now. He's thoughtful, he's compassionate, he's caring, he's still got a smile on his face, he's still laughing. It's really, really incredible to see, and it's for him that a bit of an awareness campaign and a fundraiser for Be Inspired. Himself and James as well, what they've done, and what I've seen out of them over this past week and a half, it's definitely given me inspiration. Seeing Shane push on as much as he has, and just be such an incredible human. It's, yeah, I definitely want to take not just a leaf out of his book, but a couple of chapters and try and incorporate it in my life.
Day 10 done.
Nailed it.
Yep, we're back on track, so really good to be at Albany Highway. Last 2 days we've made up 40 kilometres, which is pretty epic. This is the road that took us down to Albany, so we're making our way past here. Henry joined me today, huge effort from him. Shay did the first 20 and then yeah, Henry did the last 66, so he was our longest pacer so far. And he kept the chat up and just made the case feel easy, so it was good. We had an awesome Sydney trail session back, probably one of my favourite sections so far.
Flew down.
Yeah.
Absolutely flew down. 5 minute K pace. I came along today hoping to get someone who was sort of old and decrepit and barely moving. This guy just gunned the whole way today. Really impressive. Really, really impressive.
It's so easy to just go out for a day, go out for a couple of nights, just get amongst nature, get amongst the trees, the animals, see the stars at night, experience the wind, experience the rain, experience everything that Mother Earth has to offer us. So yeah, it's just fantastic that the state government via the Parks and Wildlife have stayed on board with it, but also just the sheer number of volunteers who get behind it, the Bibbulmun Track Foundation for being as strong as they are and advocating for its maintenance and in promoting it as well. It takes a lot of special people to maintain over 1,000 kilometres of trail. So yeah, just stoked it's out there, I guess, in simple words. Really stoked that we have it here in WA, and it's a draw card not just for locals, but bumped into quite a few people who have travelled from overseas, interstate, to come and walk it. So definitely encourage you to get out there and get on it, just see some of it, just start moving, start experiencing, and yeah, you never know where the first few steps might take you.
Yeah, my running background is more along probably the shorter trail to road marathon distance, and now just starting to explore a bit more of the ultra scene and really enjoying it. I've probably done a bit more of the longer trekking with the base camp of Everest, Kokoda, Mount Ranjani, along those lines, so I guess a bit of a mix. Yeah, I'm sort of working off the theory when you feel like quitting, you're at 30%. It's just that brain's got that safety switch. It wants to switch off so early to protect you, but I think we've learnt before that we can push it a lot further than that. The original plan was to make it to here, but it is only 3:45. Tomorrow's the last day, and I sort of feel like I should push on a bit, so I'm going to do a bonus 12 Ks up to Dale Road, and then that way I only have 50 odd Ks to do tomorrow. Legs 11, test of the legs. Alright, day 11 done, pretty good, pretty happy with that. Chucked in a bonus, turned out to be about bonus 13, 14 Ks, sitting just under 88 Ks for the day. I think my body is finally saying enough is enough. It's pretty happy that day 12 is here tomorrow. Just 58 Ks back to Calla, so pretty pumped about that.
A couple of years ago, I would have had a hard time. Would I have been disappointed? I'm not sure if disappointment's the right word, because I think I still needed to reconcile with my choice for my own amount of suffering that I put myself through out there. And anyone else who comes in and takes the record, does a faster time, takes away nothing from the amount of suffering from my own experience. It changes nothing about that. And so at this point, I've certainly had pictures in my head of the day when I would be driving down to Albany to shake somebody's hand for coming in, finishing and breaking the record. And we'll have something to share. We'll be able to look each other in the eye and have something to share that very few people have shared. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Day 12. We finally made it within running distance of Kalamunda, about 950 k's down, 58 kilometres to go. So yeah, super pumped to be in this position. Body's held up really well. Can really put it down to all the little things that the team's been focusing on. Put a huge focus on recovery and just making it stress-free. And it's definitely been a team effort that sort of made that happen and made this actually quite an enjoyable process. Looking forward to meeting lots of the local running community along the trails today in the lead up to Kalamunda. And yeah, ticking this box. Well on track to break the record and raise some good funds for the kids for the Inspire Foundation. So yeah, some great outcomes achieved by all this, and everyone involved should be really proud of where this is heading and what we've done.
I'm extraordinarily proud, and yeah, as I say, there's a lot of emotion in it, and you know, I didn't realise really when someone's running the Bibbulmun Trail what you hear about these things, and it's not till you get out on the trail and you see the hills and the steps you have to climb, and you know, all these different areas you have to get through, and it is beautiful, but it is also torturing.
I think once you get into endurance sport, the challenge to sort of keep on pushing yourself and finding new grounds keeps them increasing. It's obviously getting out of hand where a 1,000k run becomes a good idea. So yeah, I'd love to be an end-to-ender. One of my best mates passed away on this day. Quite some time ago, and it's going to be really good to do this for him. We've been carrying this since the start, so I'm pretty pumped to get the Kalamunda for him. And just do this for him because I know he can't, so be inspiration to me. And yeah, keen to get it done. Alright, mate.
just because the event's over doesn't mean you need to stop supporting. So Be Inspired is a foundation that does amazing things. So yeah, if you're ever feeling like giving, if you ever had a bit of spare cash, then it's definitely a good place to put it. So yeah.
Brilliant. That's really good.